Do you know Ed and Lorraine Warren's most famous case, the Amityville Horror?
On the night of November 13th, 1974, a violent storm raged over the quiet town of Amityville, New York. Lightning illuminated the imposing Dutch colonial house at 112 Ocean Avenue, casting ominous shadows on its walls. Inside, the DeFeo family lay asleep, unaware of the horror that was about to unfold. In the master bedroom, Ronald DeFeo Jr., a burly man with a stern demeanor, slept beside his wife, Louise. Their room was filled with an unsettling stillness, disturbed only by the sound of the rain pounding against the windows. The tension in the air was palpable, as if the house itself sensed the impending doom. Ronald Butch DeFeo Jr., the 23-year-old eldest son, stood in the doorway of his parents' bedroom. His gaunt face was illuminated by the flickering light from the storm outside, highlighting the dark circles under his eyes. Clutching a rifle, Butch's expression was a disturbing mix of fear and determination. "They need to be stopped," he whispered to himself, his voice barely audible over the storm. "They need to be stopped." With a slow, deliberate motion, Butch raised the rifle and aimed it at his sleeping parents. A flash of lightning illuminated the room, followed by a deafening gunshot. Ronald Sr. and Louise lay lifeless in their bed, blood soaking the sheets. Breathing heavily, Butch moved methodically from room to room, driven by a force he couldn't control. In the children's bedroom, he found his younger siblings sleeping peacefully, unaware of the horror unfolding around them. One by one, he raised the rifle and fired, the storm outside masking the sound of the gunshots. In the aftermath, the once happy DeFeo family home was transformed into a scene of unspeakable horror. The lifeless bodies of Ronald Sr., Louise, and their children, Dawn, Allison, Mark, and John, lay in their beds, victims of Butch's inexplicable rage. The next morning, the quiet town of Amityville was rocked by the news of the massacre. Neighbors and friends gathered outside the house, their faces pale with shock and disbelief. The police arrived and quickly apprehended Butch, who confessed to the murders with a chilling lack of remorse. In the days that followed, the DeFeo house became a focal point of fear and speculation. Stories of strange occurrences and supernatural activity began to circulate, fueled by the tragic events that had taken place within its walls. The house at 112 Ocean Avenue would forever be known as the Amityville Horror, a symbol of the dark forces that can lurk behind the facade of a seemingly ordinary family. As Butch DeFeo stood trial for the murders of his family, the full extent of the horror became clear. The once respected DeFeo name was now synonymous with tragedy and terror. The house remained vacant for months, a grim reminder of the night when a family was torn apart by violence and madness. Years later, new owners would move into the house, hoping to escape the shadows of its past. But the legacy of the DeFeo family tragedy would forever haunt the halls of 112 Ocean Avenue, a chilling testament to the horrors that can unfold in the most unexpected places. The Amityville horror case remains one of the most perplexing and controversial supernatural mysteries in modern history. Did Ronald DeFeo Jr. truly hear demonic voices urging him to murder his family? Or were his actions purely the result of mental illness? How could a seemingly ordinary house harbor such malevolent forces that would drive the Lutz family to flee in terror after only 28 days? The reported phenomena, green slime oozing from walls, unseen forces lifting and throwing objects, and ghostly apparitions, challenged the boundaries of belief and skepticism. Are these events genuine manifestations of the supernatural, or could they be explained by psychological stress, environmental factors, or outright fabrication? As new residents claim to live peacefully in the infamous house, the question lingers: was it all a hoax, or does 112 Ocean Avenue still conceal dark secrets waiting to be uncovered?